companies in order to improve the situation. And one of the possibilities for the companies is to support this area by joining the Producers' Responsibility Program implemented by the Latvian Green Point, where they pay the license fee for the packaging, and this fee is afterwards used to collect this packaging and to recycle it. We could also use the voluntary approach, just like IKEA, for example, has showed their dedication towards sustainable development, and they decided not to accept wooden materials from third world countries. So this is a voluntary responsibility expressed or demonstrated by a private company in order to contribute to our common goals. When we talk about the putting in order of the working environment, of course this is a very topical issue for the Latvian state or public institutions that are obliged to have the special containers for sorting the waste, dedicated containers for paper, for accumulators and batteries. So this is how actually also the public sector demonstrates their dedication towards green ideas. When we talk about the private individuals, of course we should raise the environmental awareness. And however, talking about the awareness, I will have a special slide that I will present to you in a while, and Ivars, a colleague of mine, probably will have some comments regarding the issue of how can we contribute and what can we do in case of the residential block buildings. Since we are working with the recycling of such materials, of course we are facing different problems. Sometimes people approach us and they say, our building wants to sort the waste. We provide them with the containers, and in some 2 weeks it is clear for us that up to only 40% of the residents actually sort the waste. The rest of them are simply ignoring it. And at one point, for the operators, of course, it is not very productive to have 2 different cars collecting such waste, etc. And of course, our children are taught to be very efficient, and that they should be taking care of sorting the waste. At the same time, we also have people living among us who are convinced that everything that has been sorted or separated still is dumped at the same dumping ground. So we haven't reached this critical mass. Either we are talking about residential block building or Riga as a whole. This is what we are facing actually. There are those who are willing and there are those who are reluctant. But still, you can also disseminate the information through mass media and try to convince people, and this is how actually you can improve this percentage. Actually, our business is not aimed at training or educating people. Our business is aimed at technological processes. So actually, of course, also the Green Point has certain programs that are being implemented in schools. But of course, they are also only teaching to take the plastic bottle to the right container, but they are not turning to also to the older generations. Actually, quite often we are approaching others to come up with high standards, and only then we can go on with the process as such. However, if we have buildings that are still reluctant to sort their waste, of course we're still facing the same problems. You said that in Estonia the tariff is 10 times higher in case you refuse to sort your waste. So this could be quite a good tool. And in Belgium, they have the so-called waste police. So a guy walks around, he cuts the waste bag and checks whether plastic waste is contained in this bag. And if you have such a situation where you have thrown out inappropriately your plastic waste, you are subject to a fine, to monetary penalty. So, of course, I agree with you. So, if we want to start to sort our waste, first, of course, we should raise the costs of depositing the waste at our landfills. Because as soon as it costs money, people will start to think. Because nowadays we pay some 1.2 lats or 2 lats. It doesn't make any difference. But if we have a situation where we're talking about 8 or 10 lats, and if we are by sorting we can reduce this tariff to 2 lats, then of course people would feel the difference. And that would be something that motivates. So should we probably put it to vote? Who would be happy to raise the tariff for unsorted waste 10 times by this forcing the people to sort? Who are in favor? Yes, I can see that all of us are very green on the inside. Of course, please go on with your presentation. So, in the conclusion, of course, we should raise the awareness about the environment and in our society, because of course, if we talk about Sweden, Sweden had 30 times to learn about sorting and 30 years to reach certain results or achievements. Of course, it's all focused on an individual who should be aware of all these aspects, and of course it also includes the motivation we just discussed, because unless we have all these elements, of course the general awareness about the environmental implications will not be there. And of course, probably we shouldn't be too pessimistic about our situation, because we can look back at 1995, for example, and we can see that still we have achieved quite a good progress. However, of course, we might still aim for improvements. Each month, actually, our company recycles approximately 1,000 to 1,500 tons of glass, 500 tons of polymers, 800 to 1,100 tons of cardboard, and nowadays we have less electric appliances, because during the crisis, of course, people they buy less electronics. Of course, they have deserved the applauses. Please tell me, what could be the mechanism for the residential block buildings? Because of course there are different people, and there are collective these collection systems. And actually, I can share my experience in Estonia. In Estonia, in each block, they have a dedicated person who, in the mornings and in the evenings, actually stands by the container and actually controls what is being dumped in each container. So actually, they have the authority, and people are afraid to. And of course, when we talk about large block buildings, we don't have such old ladies who will control what's being dumped. Of course, we are talking about the system as such. If we have large block building, and if there are certain tariffs set, and for example, for each household 5 lats should be paid, at that point, an old lady who is quite stingy and doesn't want to pay 5 lats, and if she knows that by sorting she can reduce the tariff, she is quite motivated actually to involve other people and to carry out certain control, because it's all about involvement. So what you said about the Estonia,